Right, so let's make a start. So welcome everybody. Lovely to have you all here tonight. So we'll start by just sort of tuning in to our own bodies. So just work with the spine straight. Take a nice deep breath in. Have a sigh out. And again. And once more. Lovely. Now let's just release the upper body. Let the head turn one way and then the other. Lovely. Drop the chin down. Let's create a circle. Just be cautious with the neck. Really release the jaw. Lovely. Change directions. Lovely. And release. Let's twist to the right. Just hold for a few breaths. Excuse me. And the other way. Oh, a bit of hay fever. Lovely. Let's come back to centre. So we're just going to do a little bit on the heart, a little bit more on the heart space. So bring the thumbs to the back of the shoulders, fingers forwards. Going to inhale to the left, exhale to the right. Start off slowly, so we just work from the body, the muscles, the bones, and then we'll work into the energetic field. Build up the speed when it feels good for you. Eyes closed. Just starting to shift any stagnant energy around the heart space. See how deep you can take the rotation, keep it safe, but sort of really let go of any need to control it. You'll come back to centre, keep the eyes closed, draw the elbows together, take a deep breath in. Big circle, exhale with a sigh. And again. Change directions. Lovely release. So just take a little bit more release into the side edge of the heart space before we do a sarlong. So one hand down, one hand up, bring the hand behind the head, come over, and just really with the eyes closed, bring your attention into the side that you're stretching and use the breath to sort of expand that side. See if you can go a little bit further over so you can feel the movement coming down into the waist. Lovely, slowly come up. Let's go the other way. Just take your time, do a smaller movement first. Maybe going a bit deeper. Lovely, back to centre. Just roll the shoulders. So we're just going to clear the three main nadis first. So bring the hands up and bring the thumbs to the base of the ring finger. So you use the ring finger to close the nostril, hands out to the side. So we're going to breathe in and raise the left arm. And then block the left nostril, breathe out of the right side. Breathe into both, raise the right arm. Block the right nostril, breathe out of the left. And again, into both, raising the left arm. Block and breathe out of the right. One more round. Lovely, release the hands. Clearing the central channel, very simple. Breathe into both nostrils. And as you breathe out, fold forwards. Imagine the energy travelling up the spine and out through the top of the head. Breathing in again. And releasing. Lovely. Now, let's just work with the heart salon. We're going to open the heart energy, and then we're going to work with a practice that brings our connection into the soul and the higher self before we work with Tonglen tonight. So just slightly different process tonight. So remember the life force salon, I call it the heart salon because that's where the focus is the one where we do the double inhale and the hand comes over the head, sort of sweeping and pushing 5 times. Remember, you don't have to do 5 if you can't hold your breath for that long. Just do 1, 2, 3 or 4 of each movement, still holding the breath. Then you circle from the waist up to the shoulder 5 times, or whatever number suits you, and then you breathe out from just below the navel, and it's a so you start with a slow exhale, draw the belly button in, and then you push the breath up and out through the top of the head. Okay, and we're clearing the energy of that surrounds the central channel and the heart space. So focus on the heart space, eyes closed. And just notice any physical tightness there, any blockages that you can sense energetically as well. And you might find that there are images come to mind rather than sensations. And just be aware of what it is that blocks the light of the heart space, so that the joy that is our pure essence there. It might be that one side of the body feels heavier than the other. Maybe there's something around the shoulder blades, whatever it is for you, just be aware of whatever blocks. And let your attention rest on those things that you find that block the light of the heart space. And when we hold our attention on those whilst we perform the movements, we stay focused on those blockages, and then the exhale, we allow that release of energy to clear the blockage. So hold your attention on the blockage, take a breath in, inhale on top, hold the breath, perform the movements. Good. Now, as you breathe in, imagine this beautiful stream of light pouring in through the top of the head, filling the head, the throat, coming into the heart space, expanding the heart. And just notice a very subtle shift of energy as you start to unburden the cloaking of the heart. I apologise for my creaky shoulder, if you can hear it on the mic. Okay, so again, focus on the heart space. Notice any heaviness, any stickiness. Maybe there's some images, conversations. Maybe you feel one-sided. Whatever it is that blocks the light of the heart space. Take a deep breath in. Inhale on top. Hold. Really push that energy up and out, and then concentrate, really visualize this light coming in and pushing, expanding the space. Lovely. Once more, focus on what blocks, and notice it may also be at the back of the heart space. So we tend to forget about that. We focus around the front, but notice how the shoulder blades are feeling. There's some heaviness. Is one side, you have more awareness of one side than the other. Good. Connect to what blocks. Take a deep breath in. Inhale on top. Hold. Lovely. Now just rest with the eyes closed. I'm going to move you into a visualization of connecting to the energy, the divine spark within us. And there's lots of practices, traditions that use this particular colour focus. So this is just one of the ones that I follow. So I want you to imagine that you're pulling a violet, sort of silvery violet flame up from beneath you, and it starts to come through the entire body, so it fills you. It's almost like it's around you, and this is a protection field. Feel it come up through the physical body as well as the etheric body. So it's covering all around you, this beautiful violet, sort of silvery violet flame. Until you can sort of feel it almost vibrating every single cell within you. So if you struggle to really feel it, then just imagine it. Create this visualization in the mind's eye. Lovely. Now allow that flame to really focus in the heart space. So bring the attention to the heart space, about 2 or 3 inches in front of the breastbone. And imagine a flame that's violet, just sitting there, really brilliant violet light. Then we're going to allow this light to create a channel, a very fine thread that comes all the way up through the throat, through the third eye, up to the top of the head, and it's touching a golden ball of energy at the top of the head. So this is the higher self. Let it connect to it. Be aware of this amazing beam of white light. It's like a column that's coming all the way down now, and it's filling the entire body, surrounding you like a vortex all around the body. And then we're going to pull this golden thread down. So we're now got a thread coming downwards and upwards, but they meet at the heart space. Violet, gold, and there's this beautiful sort of column of white light all around you. And we're going to start the Tonglen practice with the mantra, and we'll finish it with the mantra tonight. So we're just doing it in a slightly different format. So I want you to bring the hands into Chin Mudra. Try and bring that index finger right down into the fleshy part of the thumb, and then make sure you keep the last 3 fingers really straight. So don't let them curve, straight, hands down to the knees. Make sure the fingers are together. And we're going to chant the mantra out loud. Then we're going to whisper it without making any sound. So we'll move the lips, but we won't let any sound come out. And then we're going to repeat it silently, and we'll turn the tongue back on itself so it rests in the palate and you focus. So this is the most powerful way to do the mantra, which is silently. Physically, when we say it out loud, it affects the physical body. When we say it silently, it affects the emotional body. And then when we say it totally silently in the mind without moving the lips, it affects our energetic body. So really powerful. So when you're ready, just follow me. Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 Now whispering, so without any sound coming out from the mouth, but moving the lips. Lovely. Now, completely silently, just repeating it mentally. Curl the tongue back so it presses up against the palate, and curl it back as far as you can. Repeat silently. Release. Just let the palms face down now. Release the mudra onto the thigh. Notice the effect of the mantra in its different ways. So each one has a different effect. It's almost like our awareness starts to expand as we bring our attention inwards from the physical body, emotional, into the etheric, sort of the spiritual body. There's an expansion at the same time. So there's going in, we go out, we expand. And with your focus on the heart space, just start to breathe in and out as if there's this little porthole here. And we're bringing a connection directly into the spiritual center of the body, breathing in and out. And remember that the light at the heart space is indestructible. So when we work with Tonglen, it can be tricky at first because of this association with darkness. When you feel that happening, this is ego kicking in, which is fear-based. So nothing can touch the light at the heart space. It's indestructible. It's always existed. It will never cease to exist. It's like a diamond. So let's give the breath some texture. So as we inhale, we're going to draw in a smoky light, a cloud of light, which literally is just transformed and it expands the light at the heart space. And as we exhale, we send out this beautiful beam of light into the world. Inhaling the darkness, which is just really just a fuel, and we're transmuting it with the love at the heart space. This light is like a lighthouse beacon, and it shines out into the world towards others, but it also acts as a homing beacon. When we connect to it, it allows us to draw back into our true nature. So be aware of that beautiful light. Just drawing in any darkness as we inhale, which is just a representation of suffering in all its forms. And we're just transmuting it with pure, unconditional love, which is the most powerful force in the entire universe. Just love, unconditional. Sometimes we might call it compassion. Lovely. Now let's start to work on ourselves first. Remember, always work with self first, because you cannot give from an empty cup. So I want you to be aware of all your own suffering in all its forms: physical, emotional, mental, spiritual. Just be aware of it. Notice it in its physical forms. Notice the emotional energy, mental energy, spiritual energy. And when you inhale, imagine that you're pulling in any darkness that's within your field on all forms of existence into the heart space. And you can feel the expansion of the light as you breathe in the suffering. It just expands the light because it's acting as fuel. And as you exhale, fill the body with this light so that it expands not just the physical body, but the energetic, the sacred body, the etheric body. And you might find that there's a particular point in the body that's quite painful. Focus your attention there. Maybe there's a heaviness, a discomfort, however you feel it. Lovely. 3 more really well focused breaths. Really sending the light into the areas that need to be released. Allowing the whole bodies, plural, to be cleansed with this beautiful healing light. Lovely. Now let's work with a loved one, somebody who you find it really easy to be with. And you might find that as soon as I said that, there's more than one person comes into the mind's eye. So just take your time to bring this person into the mind's eye and then drop them into the heart space and ask the heart space, should I work with this person tonight? And you'll get the answer. And then it might be that there's another person that comes in. If you feel that you really want to work with more than one, that's fine. If you can hold the attention on both people. And then imagine going to sit with this person or people, noticing how they look today. Just being present with them, observing their suffering in all its forms, physical, emotional, mental, spiritual. And just take a moment to see this suffering pouring out of them and creating a cloud of smoke between you and them. And when you're ready, breathing in that suffering, feel it move to the heart space and be instantly transformed by the light at the heart. So nothing is going to touch you. It's just transforming energy and sending out that deep love, compassion, the wish for them to be well as you exhale. Notice any change in their physicality, notice any change in their emotions by the expression on their face, just observing the subtle changes as you continue to transmute the suffering. As you exhale, see them as well, see them as happy, see them free from suffering. Lovely. 3 more really focused breaths. Lovely. Now let's move to somebody who you find it harder to be with or even difficult. And remember that it may be a loved one, it may be somebody you work with, maybe it's a neighbour. And just being aware of the behaviour that you find difficult to be with. And remember that our reaction to other people's behaviour is always based in ego, which is fear-based. And also remember that if this person's behaviour is super challenging, it doesn't mean to say that you need to take it on board. And it may be that this practice will show you that perhaps it's time to walk away from certain relationships, and that's the best thing for you and perhaps that person. Or maybe it's just that you just need to see things from a different point of view. So just taking your time to bring to mind this person that you find difficult to be with and seeing the behaviour that they have is an expression of suffering, their suffering. So maybe that they're quite volatile, maybe they're quite negative towards you or derogatory, whatever it is that you find difficult. And remember that this is suffering, so see the suffering pouring out of them. Notice how it shows in them physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. Let it create a cloud. And when you're ready, we're going to transform that. So you're using it simply as energy to expand our connection to the truth of the heart space, which is we are all connected and we are all this beautiful ball of love, cosmic light. So breathe it in and sending out that genuine wish for them to be well. And remember that that might be that you choose to walk away, but you still wish for them to be well. It's feeling that movement of energy from the inflow and the outflow, just transmuting it through the light at the heart space, feeling the heart space expanding as it starts to recognize the truth. Be aware of this person's suffering changing the way that they appear. And maybe that it's changing your reaction to them, that you become less reactive and more observational when you're with them. Lovely. Let's have 3 more really well focused breaths. Lovely. Now let's just work with a familiar stranger. So remember, this is somebody who you recognize, but you don't really know them. Could be somebody you meet when you walk the dog, or somebody who passes you in the street on a regular basis, or you see when you commute, but you don't know them. Maybe it's somebody who's a member of a a club that you belong to, but you don't really know their name or anything about them. So they're really a stranger, but slightly familiar, because you can visualize them, bring them to mind. Be aware of how their suffering shows within the body. Emotions, mind, spirit. And when you're ready, breathing in that suffering, feeling it simply be transformed, so it doesn't sit within you, it just is used as a transformational process, exhaling the light and the wish for them to be well, to be free from suffering. A genuine, heartfelt love towards them. Really visualize them, feel that exchange moving with the breath. Lovely, 3 more well-focused breaths. Lovely. Now for ourselves and for the world, we're going to do the next stage slightly differently to what we've done before. So we're just amplifying the energy. So again, I want you to visualize this beautiful violet flame pulling up through the body, coming all the way through you. So it's around you and within you, completely filling. Be aware of this beautiful white light coming down from above the head, like this channel, a column of energy. Beautiful white light all the way down. Feel both meet at the heart space. And then send a tiny, beautiful thread up from the heart, through the throat, through the top of the head, to the golden ball that sits above the head, which is the higher self. Sometimes it's called the monad. Be aware of it. If you can't sense it, don't worry, just visualize it. Lovely. Now we're going to connect higher self with the inner light. So pull the golden thread down into the body, into the heart, so it connects. Lovely. Now I want you to raise the hands with the thumbs out, facing forwards. Imagine that we're all sitting in a circle. And if you want to open your eyes, that's fine. So we're just all sitting in this amazing circle. We're all facing each other. We're all looking around, acknowledging each other's light and each other's presence, and being aware of each other's suffering in all its forms. So we all suffer. We all have emotional ups and downs, mental ups and downs, physical ups and downs. Be aware of those, and we're going to send out a wave of energy, and it's coming from the higher self down, that lovely golden thread, into the heart space, and then being beamed out through the palms of the hands towards each other. Ooh, I've got a lot of energy in my head, hang on. So be aware of that energy. And we're just going to chant out loud Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum, 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 Om Mani Padme Hum. Now keep going with the mantra out loud, sort of really projecting it outwards so the energy channels from higher self through the head, heart, along the arms, out through the hands, and we're sending it out. We're going to expand our wish for all beings to be well. So as you continue to chant, imagine expanding your awareness out into your neighbour's presence. Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum. Be aware of this wave of energy travelling out, pushing it out through the hands, expanding out into the locality that you live in, pushing this beautiful wave of love out into the world, for that wish for the world to be peaceful, to be ego-free, to be free of fear. Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum. Keep pushing it out until you can feel it filling the whole of the UK, the whole of Europe, the whole of the world, and let your awareness wrap around the globe. So we're holding and we're pushing out this healing energy that we're channeling from much higher, so from the higher dimensional planes, through and out. Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum. Let it encompass the whole world, all human beings, all species, all animals, the planet itself, the earth, the seas, all beings, beings without bodies too. Om Mani Padme Hum, 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 Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum, 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 Om Mani Padme Hum. the hands, just release down, palms to the knees. And be aware of that sense of expansion beyond the vehicle of the physical body. Be aware of how your awareness, which is hugely expansive, your true self, is encompassing the whole world. And then bring your attention inwards to the light. So this light that is really expansive, it's global, is now reversing its gaze into the light, to the heart space, to this tiny being within you that is vast at the same time. The microcosm and the macrocosm. If you want to touch the heart space, then just sense the heart space. Maybe just sort of move the hands a little bit in front of the heart space. Just be aware of that energetic presence. And turn the tongue backwards again. And repeat silently, Om Mani Padme Hum, to the self. As a form of self-healing, just allowing the mantra to heal you, to draw in that beautiful healing energy of Om Mani Padme Hum. Lovely. Just let the hands rest in meditation mudra. Just noticing the effect of the practice, just taking time to absorb the subtle changes. And before we close with the traditional namaste, we're going to use a Tibetan mudra that's used to seal a healing practice. I want you to bring the left palm up so the fingers tip downwards away from you. And with the right hand, we're going to brush. And as we brush, we just say to ourselves, this is done. So it's like an ending. So this is now done. It is complete. This is complete. And then bring the hands up, inhaling, down through the midline, bowing the head to the heart, and namaste. Thank you for joining me.